What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bug's DCS Cruise. For this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a review for you guys. So I have a couple of these in mind that I want to do, and we're going to start with the Thompson and 8-ball OH6A Cayuse. It is a freeware mod. It's standalone, which is awesome. Full fidelity, and you can do an awful lot with it. I'll leave the information where to download it and their Discord in the video description. Feel free to check it out and give it a shot if you guys want to try and fly a helicopter, but you don't want to pay for something if you don't know you're going to like it. Give this a shot. It's definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun. So all your normal stuff here, you can change all that. There are a few different other pretty cool tactical call signs, so I like that. So let's jump over and see what she looks like. So there we go. We do get a whole bunch of different liveries with it, which is cool. And it goes right into your saved games folder, the whole thing. And it is OVGME compliant. It does play nice with it. That's how I run all of my mods on this, so I can shut them off in an instant with just a mouse click. Nice and easy. So you guys can see we have a whole bunch of different liveries to choose from. So we have a standard good old matte black one. A few Jurassic Park fans out there, we got one of those. Let's see, what else do we have here? A couple of different civilian kind of liveries. We got the bandits. I do know the squadron this is from. I just don't remember the number offhand. So I'm not going to say it and it'd be wrong. But this was a Vietnam bird that did a lot of work. That squadron especially. And here's just a couple of more civilian liveries. I'm just going to breeze through these really quick, guys, and then we'll get to the other stuff. Some of them do actually look pretty cool. The red, white, and blue, I like that one. And it's that. This one is the same thing with the K on it. From El Salvador. The European style camo. We get a nice little contrast of it like that. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. Jurassic Park we did. You got a police helicopter for the Las Vegas Metro PD, which is pretty cool. For you Magnum PI fans out there, there she is. And just a couple of different other ones, like the rescue liveries, different camouflages and whatnot. We got the Armada, that's pretty cool. UN, two different versions of it, same thing with that one. And then just the generic Army one, the red tail. That's pretty cool looking. The shark's mouth, like the some of the Hueys and the Cobras have. That's pretty sweet looking. We got that one there. And just a standard white and a yellow. So not terrible. You got quite a bit to choose from. So we'll stick with that one for now. Now this is where the fun comes. We have a whole bunch of different options that we could do with this, between carrying grenades, smoke grenades, frag grenades, which is pretty cool. And what's cool you notice with this is as soon as we put a set of grenades on here, the doors come off. So we can drop them out, no problem. So we'll take a set of those with us. We can also take the doors off here. And then we could put a door gunner with either the M134 or the M60. So you got him hanging out right there. We could also put fertilizer sprayers on this thing. I think we're going to have to take him off to make that happen. I don't really know. Oh, actually, hold on. Here we go. We need the sprayer on the helicopter. I really don't know how much that works. I really haven't played with it, so that's okay. So we're just going to remove that. What do we got in this one? All right, so there's some cargo. I don't know how I would feel having a big oil drum like that's sitting behind me, or a fuel canister, but I'll take it. You can have different cargo. You can carry animals, crates. You got passengers we can fly with in the back. Jerry cans. We can have the FBI hanging out of the back of it if we wanted. That's pretty cool. A couple of soldiers hanging out back there. So all in all, not too bad. Quite flexible. So we're just going to remove that for now. We could put floats on this thing. Now these are not going to let you land on the water. If you try that, it is not going to work out too well for you. I don't believe these are implemented just yet. If they do, that would be cool. You have a searchlight. You got a camera up in the front. So like if you want to fly with the PD helicopter version, you could do that. You got a cameraman in the back, which is pretty cool too. And then we can also carry a couple of different weapons on this thing, which is really cool. It is very maneuverable, so you can get this thing into a tight spot and do a lot of damage with this thing. So there's one of our rocket pods there. You could put another one on the other side, or we can have our forward-facing minigun. So we'll just throw this one on here for now. And then there's our minigun right there. So I'll take the minigun up with us so we could shoot them. We're not going to be targeting much of anything. And, you know, actually, we'll take the rocket pod too. Why not? So that works. So you can set your fuel, standard stuff, chaff flares, it does carry. There is, under the aircraft additional properties, you can equip the cable cutters on it, which is cool. We could put flares on it. There's the flare dispenser right down there. And we can equip it with an RWR. So we'll take all those with us. Why not? All right, so let's jump in. So we'll take a look at what she looks like from the ground on the outside. I'll briefly go over the startup procedure, and then we'll take her up for a ride. We'll whip it around a little bit, and we'll go from there. So let's unpause, and here we are. So there's our rocket pod down there. There's our forward-facing minigun. So we're going to have to work with this for our guns and this for our rockets. Right here is our flare dispenser. Here's your standard controls, your circuit breakers, your lighting, your radios, and your gauges. Nothing crazy. You can see our gun sight right in front of us, so that's gonna swing out like that for us. We also have the option for night vision, but obviously we don't need that right now. Let's get the gun sight moved for a second. And you see she's pretty small. Not a big helicopter at all. If I remember correctly, it's just a little bit above 8 feet, maybe like 8.5 feet tall. Not that long. I think it's maybe 30 feet long or something like that. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. But the rotor diameter is, I believe, 26 feet or something like that. So if you, all in all, not that big of a helicopter. So let's get back into the cockpit and let's just run through the startup procedure really quick, guys. So what we're going to do is we'll turn our battery on. We got our lights going, the generator outlet, so push the fuel valve in, you pull it to close it, obviously. The fuel pump's on, and then our inverter and our generator. So I'm going to quiet that, rack it down for a second so I can talk to you guys without that squawking. So for the real OH6, the motor the starter, let it get up to 15 on your RPM, then introduce fuel, and then you should have a good light and you should be stable around 57, I believe. Could be wrong, but any of you guys that actually flew the Cayuse or know a lot more about it, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm curious myself. I want to learn a little bit more about this thing. Right, so let's motor the starter. I'm not going to keep the I'll turn the generator on once we get power, just so we don't have to listen to the alarm. Alright, so here we go. 15. Fuel. Ooh, I don't know why that's so horrible sounding, guys. It should not be like that. Alright, let's watch. It's 50. Alright, and we have a light off. We're good to go. We're at idle. Let's get our generator going. I don't know why this thing sounds so horrible, guys. I'm sorry about this. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, guys, sorry about that little sound issue we had before. After the update, I forgot to reset my headphones, so that's okay. Little minor setback, but we're back up, we're running. So if you see in the video, it'll jump. I'll leave a little tab in there, but we're back up, we're good to go. So what we're going to do, like I said, to start this thing, battery, fuel pump. Let's get our inverter on. Now let's watch for our light off. Okay. Let's watch our N1. So we should have a good light around 57, I believe is what it is. There we go. Now you can release the starter and we're good to go. Sounds much better now. Alright, now she's running. Let's get our generator online. And just set your lighting as you see fit if you need it. So what I'm going to do now, just so I could focus on flying this thing really quick, is I'm going to arm up on the ground now, which normally I don't do. And so the guns are charged and ready to go. Let's get our navigation aids going here. Put that on push to talk. Guard transmit. Transmit plus guard. Let's get our ADF going here. Okay. Let's arm our countermeasures up. Alright. I'm going to swing the gun sight out. Now you can see the reticle is right in front of us. It's pretty cool. Alright, let's slowly throttle her up. So ideally you don't want to have any of the warning lights go off as you throttle up, so you walk it up nice and easy. Alright, there she is. Now our governor's taken over. And we can just leave it at full throttle for the rest of the flight. And we're good to go. So let's just click our trimmer reset, because otherwise we're going to have a really hard time. And let's go get airborne with the old Cayuse. And see how maneuverable she is, and how stable it actually is. So right away you can see as I'm picking the collector up, she's starting to get light on the skids. Same thing as any other helicopter. Just a little input on your pedals, keep her straight. There we go. Nice and gentle. Just counter with it, and there we go, we're up. Extremely stable helicopter. You can hold it very low and stable without too much of an issue. So let's roll it out this way. And it's cool, you can actually put one of these on one of the cruisers. You've seen me do that in the past. It's pretty fun. Alright, so we can see how I just whip this thing around the runway with a taxi like this. Let's slide it in like that. Nice little pedal turn, and we're facing the other way. So she is very responsive, and that's all just with the pedals I'm doing that. I'm just putting little inputs in on the joystick on the cyclic to keep us from flipping ass over tea kettle, but not too bad. Alright, so our gun's armed. Let's go attack this tree over here. Slow her down a little, and a little crush with the pedals. And let her read. And there we go. Alright. So we did that. Now let's pop a few rockets off at it. So we'll set one off at a time. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to drop the smoke grenades, and that's going to be our aiming point for our rockets.
Dropped red smoke. Dropped red smoke. Dropped red smoke. Dropped red smoke.
This way, and rockets away. Just like that, guys. Let's move the gun sight out of my way for a second, and all we do, come back down here to this switch, drop it back down to our 762 switch, and then there's our gun once again. You can aim it pretty much right where you want it. You can sweep the pedals left and right with it, and it'll give you a nice little pattern. So now I'm using a lot of hard cyclic this time, along with the pedals, and see how well we could look down and see what we're doing here. Let's not lose it, so we got to keep in mind you don't want to be too forceful with it. You still want to be nice and gentle to an extent, but she will do pretty much anything you would like it to do within reason. Very stable. You see all the gauges work absolutely beautifully. Let's see, let's turn it to the left here a little bit. Let's hover out for a second. And I'm gonna let the gun off just so you guys can see it operating. And there she is. It's a little bit more impressive at night when you can actually see it flashing and the rounds going off. But so when you're done with that, come down over to this knob here, center, depress your trigger, and that clears the gun. And then we clear to save it. Here's our RWR. Let's get that baby on. I'm not going to need it. This is not going to be painting us, but it is a nice little option to have. Alright, let's go drop this thing into a nice little tight area. See if we can do this without killing ourselves. I'm going to show you the maneuverability of it. I'm going to pop it down right around in here somewhere. Like I said, guys, this is an absolutely awesome mod. This is definitely one of the best free mods that you can get for DCS, and it's all inclusive. It's not relying on any other modules to make it work, which is pretty cool. So the team over Thompson and April, they did an awesome job on this, and it is still updated, and they're a very active community on the Discord server. Like I said, I'll leave all that information in the description. Alright, here we go. Let's see, let's bring this thing. Let's see how tight of a spot we can get ourselves into with her. And I'm not going to make this an hour and a half long review for you guys. There's just so much to go over with the mod like this, with all that it could do. It would take quite a long time. So we're not gonna do that to you guys. Nice and easy. Watch our rate of descent. Let's not do that, bugs. Nope, nope, no, 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 nope, 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 nope. So she can be a little bit of a handful. So you gotta kind of dance on the controls on the pedals just a little bit, just to keep her stable. So you can see my inputs right now are very subtle, but you can get really low. And we can be really sneaky with this thing if we need to be. And she also can tip over extremely easy, guys. This is, I feel really embarrassed that I can't land this effing thing for a review video right now, but come on, this thing right now. So we can go on the ground, one piece, and not on its side. There we go. That was not pretty, but it works. It does get a little bit more difficult when you have these stores on the side or the gunner in the back, because it is asymmetric. The rocket pod weighs a little bit different than the gun does, and if you throw the gunner back there with the gun over there, it could be quite a handful. Hence why it was wobbling around a little bit. Like I said, this thing is an awesome helicopter. Let's see. Throttle it down a little bit. And she carries plenty of fuel. She's pretty efficient with it. I'm not going to lie. I did do quite a long mission with this thing, and it could be a handful. You have to pay attention, but she does have the legs to do it fuel-wise. You hear it sounds pretty decent. So this is what one of these things would actually sound like. You know, pretty damn close to it, so. There's our landing light right there, our hover, taxi light, whatever you guys want to call it. Let's bring the throttle back up for a minute. There you guys can hear the whir of the rotors on the outside. So they got the sound down pretty damn well on this. They did a really good job. It looks absolutely amazing. Really excellent job by the guys over on the Thompson and April. Like I said before, the thing is absolutely amazing. Let's get that shut down. Shut her down. Pull our fuel valve, fuel pump. That. Let's hit our rotor brake. I did that too early, but that's okay. And there we go. Well, I really hope you guys found that helpful and enjoyable. I'm sorry I pooched the landing 3 times, but it does happen. I am getting better and better at flying this thing. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's a freeware mod. I will leave the links in the description below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more, and until the next sortie, strap in, arm up the seat, and keep flying.